Winston. I'm Executive Vice President for a company called Synermed. We're here based in Southern California in Los Angeles. We are a managed care organization that focuses our efforts on government programs. About 95% of our business is managed Medi-Cal. And we just recently hit the 1 million mark. So we have 1 million capitated lives under management. The topic is going to specifically be on population health as it relates to Medi-Cal. In the managed care world, it's all about, I'm getting capitated dollars. The money is now in my checking account. It's what I call sphincter-inducing moments, because what I am now responsible for is writing the checks. So if it's going to be my money that's going out the door, the question is, how do I make that money last? But when you start talking about accountable care, you start using your own money to pay for certain things. That's the managed care side. So you're going to put your foot on that boat. And all is well and all is balanced. Life is good until the boat starts leaving the dock. And the further it gets away from the dock, okay, the conundrum really starts to hit home. Because the health plans are the sharks in the water. They don't care about you. Okay? If you fail, they'll just get some other sucker to sign a contract and move the patients over to them. So it really doesn't matter. What we want to do is figure out how to avoid the sharks. Everything is the same thing. You need analytics to know where you're spending the money, and if it's your money, now you got to figure out where you're going to spend it. So where we focus is on the two pyramids. On the left side is really traditional population health. That is, the bulk of the population is relatively healthy. Of course, beyond that, you then get people who have diseases, and those folks are more costly. So on the right side, the upside down period, we have this bulk of the population. They don't cost a lot. In the middle, you got people who are sicker. They're going to cost more, duh, right? And at the top of the left side period are the really, really sick folks, and they represent the bulk of the expenses. What we want to focus on is dealing with that top 1, 5, 10% of the population, because focusing on that's going to give us our biggest return on investment. The thing is, everybody agrees on patient-centered care, but it's how I define centered. The problem is, nobody's talking to one another. And if you really want to talk about patient-centered care, you got to bring all the pieces together, and it's really from the patient's perspective. I focus on Medicaid, folks that nobody else wants to deal with. And Medicaid is not vanilla. It's not one size fits all. In fact, even how the state of California rolled things out is crazy. Some cases you'll have 2 health plans, some cases you'll have 5 health plans, some cases you have 1 health plan. They're all rolled out differently. They all have different rules in different parts of the state. And the delegated model is the model that we created. You take a look for the Medi-Cal model, you've got the state, Department of Healthcare Services, rolls down to the health plan, the Knox-Keene health plan, and then for the most part it rolls down to the IPA or medical group. They get capitated for professional services, and you've got a shared risk pool or an institutional pool or a capitated hospital that's responsible for other services that make up this managed care dollar. The downside is we became victims of our own success. We did a terrific job of bringing in the hospital services and bringing in the professional services. But in the process, we created silos of our own. So how do you perform population health in an uncoordinated, bifurcated, delegated, and solid market? You bring the revenue streams back together. Somehow you create this vehicle, so you pull the pieces together, and then once you have, again, control of the dollars, how do you then use those dollars to improve the system from the inside? We start with the care models. So if you look at the care model, the bottom of the care model, you've got primary care and specialty care. These are the existing doctors we're dealing with. But then you start experimenting and filling in the blanks. So we'll put in telehealth. Your community hospitals, they're getting DISH funding, so they're going to get some additional money. And then we continue to go up the ambulatory ICU. We've had our greatest success, and that's what I'm going to spend the rest of the time this afternoon talking about. What we did is we brought together 3 companies to create a joint venture. And then we took the hospital, Pacific Alliance Medical Center, which was capitated for those 250,000 lives. We brought them into the room, and what we did is we created a clinic. If you remember the pyramid at the very beginning, our focus was going to be on that top or worst 1% of the population, providing personalized quality care plans to patients with the most complex care needs. It manages multi-ethnic, multilingual, adult and senior populations with complex and chronic diseases that exceed that of most people. These are not services that are going to be covered in a 15-minute office visit. The problem with this population is that while some people have great support networks, many of our patients have nothing. So the team acts as a surrogate decision maker and supporters to do whatever is medically and humanely appropriate given the circumstances. This is a population in trouble. And it's not just a Medicaid population, it's any population that has multiple comorbidities. How are you treating them? Are you following a rule book? Or are you literally throwing the rule book out? So Synermed's Care Transition Unit, our CTU team, identifies patients based on hospital records. When we know that there's a patient who's had multiple readmissions and we find out that they're in the hospital, we will send our people to that hospital, work with the discharge planners, and we basically will talk to that patient. Hey, we'd love to have you come in. Before opening our doors in 2012, this 1% of the population, each patient was costing on average $30,000 per member per month. Premium paid by the state of California was somewhere between $100 and $200 per member per month. After we opened the clinic and did what we're doing, we've got the costs down to about $5,000 per member per month. Oh, I'm still losing my shirt on this, but I'm losing a lot less. I've got a 6-to-1 ROI because it's my checkbook. Because it's not about book learning. It's about experience learning. And this is what we're doing to take care of the patients.